Now, what I'm about to say is an opinion and not a fact, so we don't need to get too bent out of proportion. I think we can all agree lists are subjective. Nonetheless, when people start making really big claims, like Manny Pacquiao could be considered the greatest fighter of all time, you better believe I am going to put that claim under some scrutiny. Now, I'm definitely a Manny Pacquiao fan. I was gutted when he got knocked out against Juan Manuel Marquez in that fourth fight, and I remember having the desktop wallpaper for Pacquiao's fight with De La Hoya 10 years ago now, with the dramatic caption, "Give us this day." On the request of somebody who posted on one of my videos, Hussein Mohsen, I'm going to give you 10 of my best fighters of all time. And unlike Max Kellerman's claim, Manny Pacquiao doesn't even make the cut. You'll note that these 10 fighters are not in any kind of numerical order, nor is this set in stone. There are some from the 10 to 14 range, which on a different day are interchangeable. Nonetheless, I am going to leave this list up as the video progresses as a reference tool to my scoring criteria: quality of opposition, dominance and longevity, and multiple weights. And so we begin with quality of opposition. Now, of the 10 fighters you can see, I think 9 of them can claim to have a greater single win than whatever it is we decide is Manny Pacquiao's greatest win. Some of them have multiple wins greater than whatever is Manny Pacquiao's greatest win. Harry Greb beat Gene Tunney and Mickey Walker. Ezra Charles beat Archie Moore 3 times, Charlie Burley 2 times. For me, Manny Pacquiao's greatest moment in the ring was taking out Marco Antonio Barrera at featherweight back in 2003. It was a domination of a guy who was considered at the time in the top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world. That victory, you could say, is maybe better than any single victory of Benny Leonard, the great lightweight, also on this list. But where the Ghetto Wizard really picks up the slack here is in his mastery over a group of excellent rivals and doing better in rematches, which brings me to my second point. Point number 2 is dominance and longevity. Now let's just get longevity out of the way. Manny Pacquiao's longevity for a guy of that stature, for the amount of wars he's been in, is absolutely sensational. I would say that is the most amazing thing about him as a fighter. Starting as a flyweight and as a 40-year-old at about 5'6", is he? I think he might even be slightly shorter than me. He's just beaten the 3rd best welterweight in the world. That really is deserving of the word sensational. Dominance is a different thing, and it is why quality of opposition really is king. Now, I know when you type in Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather is the name that's going to bring up the most search results. But in terms of significance, it is Juan Manuel Marquez that means more when we talk about his record. And ultimately, he couldn't get the better of him. He couldn't master the Mexican, despite that classic title he was rocking in the noughties, very catchy, of the Mexicutioner. He could never really get to grips with Marquez. He maybe scraped a couple of victories and he ended up getting planted at the end. Now, when the likes of Robinson or Ali or Sam Langford or Harry Greb started to drop their series with common fighters, it was usually to do with age, size, or a combination of both. That can't be said with Marquez, who not only was similar in stature, but was older. And so on to the final point, weight divisions. Now, I'm sure a lot of really big Pacquiao fans are sure that this is where he is really going to shine and rack up a lot of points. The only ever 8 weight division champion in boxing. It's true, facts don't lie, but it's also true that facts can often not have proper context. Now, when Manny Pacquiao went through the weights, he didn't always beat the man. When he went to lightweight, David Diaz wasn't the man at lightweight, even though it was a great performance. And it has to be said, whoever's decision it was, whether it was Pacquiao or his team, whether it was the opponent, whether it was the referee, catch weights, from a purist standpoint, there is an argument, can delegitimize weight divisions. A lot of people don't think you should be able to fight for a world title if it's at a catch weight. We've already divided up the original 8 weight divisions in boxing. There only used to be 8 to 17. So to stipulate catch weights, again, whoever it was, you can say from a purist standpoint, it delegitimizes it for a world title. Now consider, had there been 17 weight divisions back in, say, Bob Fitzsimmons' day, I could easily see Fitzsimmons winning titles from light, middle to heavy. Or Henry Armstrong, who almost won 4 of the original 8 weight division championships when he challenged Cefrino Garcia for the middleweight title and just missed out on a draw. It's an amazing statistic, 8 weight divisions, but zoom in a little bit closer and there's some cuts and bruises there. All these videos concerning Manny Pacquiao's greatness are, of course, in the wake of that great victory over Keith Thurman. I got it wrong, so did Timothy Bradley. It was a superb win, but it was a win over the 3rd best welterweight in the division. Had some of these older champions that are on my list, had they, even at an advanced age, beaten the 3rd best guy in the division, it probably would have got no more adulation than a couple of columns in a newspaper. So when people want to talk about how many champions Manny Pacquiao's beaten, or rose-tinted spectacles, you might want to consider how today's technology can overinflate things.